Hello. Welcome to Wines. Cool. Today we're gonna be talking about the basics of wine, including how one wine is different from another and how wine happens in general. We can essentially break wine flavor down into 6 different dimensions. The first one is acidity. Acidity is one of the reasons why we drink wine with food is the tart, refreshing aspect of wine. It helps to cut fats and redistributes our taste buds for the next bite. Next, we have sweetness or lack thereof. A wine that isn't sweet at all, we call dry. And dryness can be accentuated by high acidity. It can also be accentuated by a lot of tannin. Tannin is another component of wine flavor, and it is only perceptible in red wines. That exists in grape skins, stems, and seeds. And if you need a reference point, it's similar to the skin on a peanut. It's very stringent and drying, and it helps provide structure for the wine. It's also a reason why red wine ages as well as a natural. Next we have fruitiness. And fruitiness is simply a measure of how intense the fruit flavors are in a wine. This is usually a function of ripeness, and you can imagine a very ripe wine being sort of like a very ripe banana, having very rich, intense fruit flavors. However, a less ripe wine is more like, say, green banana, which is a little bit more tart and less rich. The next component of wine flavor is kind of abstract one, it's non-fruit flavors. And it has to do with exists in the wine that doesn't taste like fruit. So this would be things like flowers, earth, mushrooms. It could even be things that have to do with the technical aspects of the wine. So, for instance, oak aging. So if we have vanilla, coconut brown baking spices, these sorts of things have to do with aging the wine. And these are all non-fruit flavors that we associate with wine. And last we have alcohol. And alcohol is obviously the reason why we have fun when we drink wine. But alcohol also serves to lift the aromatics of the wine up into our nose. So as the alcohol evaporates, it brings some of the fruit and non-fruit aromas that we've already been talking about up into the air and allows us to smell the wine. If it has too much alcohol, then it will smell hot or it will burn in your nose if you drink. And then if you drink it, it might also burn in the throat. And this is generally a wine that has too much alcohol. And we would call that out of balance. In general, when we talk about balance, we mean a wine that any one of these 6 flavor dimensions doesn't seem to stick out too much. And this is a very important matter when assessing the quality of a wine that's of good quality, we usually call them balanced. So tell me, why does one wine taste different than the other? Huh. But you can't answer that one. That's a great question. There are basically 4 different contributing factors for why one wine would taste different from another one. The first one is the character of the grape or grapes used in the wine. The second one has to do with the character of the place where those grape varieties are grown. The third has to do with the character of so in other words, basically what the weather was like that year. And then the fourth has to do with the winemaker style. We can think about the first 3 things is the raw material that the winemaker has to work with. The fourth is the style of the winemaker, and this is basically the whole sum of the technical choices that the winemaker makes along time. How wine even happened? All wine starts out as sweet grape juice. We'll call it must in the must. There's also usually yeast naturally occurring, or we might add yeast to help things along. Fermentation then happens according to a very simple formula. The yeast eats the sugar, and as a byproduct it makes alcohol and carbon dioxide. Red wines are usually fermented with the skins and contact with the juice. And even though all juice starts out clear, the skins tin the juice, and this is why we end up with red wine on the other. White wines usually aren't fermented on the skins. Okay, so what did you learn today? Oh yeah, we're talking about wine and the way it tastes. You got 4 different things. You got 4, 1, you got varietals, different grape varieties, right? You got Tempranillo. That's a grape you got. You got Moscatos or Muscats. That's a grape. They got Pinot. Yeah, that's a grape. That's gonna change stuff. Make it taste different. You got the vintage things that happened that year, like if it rained, oh yeah. Oh, it was sunny, a warm, a cold, a hot, all that stuff. It matters. Also, it got kind of the characteristics of the place. Like if it was on like a southern-facing slope, right? Southeast, say, gets plenty of sun. Or if it's, you know, kind of on like a rocky plain or something where it's got a lot of cold things happening. So the place. And then 4th. Last but not least, wait for, yeah, you got the wine makeup. Everybody does a little thing different. Oh yeah, that's the other one. Everybody does a little different. So you got the winemaker that's gonna do wine the way he wants to do wine, the way you kind of wanna make your peanut butter jelly sandwich, right? Sometimes you put peanut butter and jelly on one piece of toast and you put that piece of toast on top of the toast, or you don't even toast it. Same deal.